As Berlin's Staatskapelle celebrates its 450th birthday, let's trace its history back to the very beginning. This brief look at the orchestra's past will offer a glimpse into how this iconic institution became a vital element of Berlin's dynamic cultural landscape. The year was 1570, and the Hohenzollerns were on a roll. Joachim II, Prince-Elector of Brandenburg, founded a small orchestra for his court, but apparently its members couldn't really keep their act together down at the local pub. Their bad behaviour prompted the imposition of strict orchestra orders. These rules are the first historic documentation of the Staatskapelle we know today. Things started to look up in the 17th century thanks to new court conductor Johann Eckert. The orchestra flourished to 30 members. Interest in the job was fierce, not surprising considering the benefits. From 1680 on, members of the Hofkapelle received the official status of chamber musicians and highly sought after health insurance. However, not everybody was a fan. Friedrich Wilhelm I obviously didn't get the hype and fired the orchestra. But the joke was on him. The next ruler of Prussia, Frederick the Great, was a music lover. An aspiring flutist himself, he assembled a fabulous new court orchestra that even included some celebrity instrumentalists of the time, such as Karl Heinrich Graun, Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, and Franz Benda. Frederick would splash the cash on the arts like no other Prussian king and ordered a room upgrade for the orchestra by the famous architect Georg Wenceslaus von Knobelsdorff in 1740. And he didn't disappoint. The opera house Unter den Linden was simply stunning. It marked a happy period for the orchestra, and they even started to charge entrance fees for their concerts in 1789. The orchestra continued to thrive in the 19th century under the new general music director Gaspare Spontini, former court conductor of Napoleon, who raised the number of musicians to almost 100 and generally amped up the quality. Celebrated composer Richard Strauss brought the orchestra into the 20th century, breaking records along the way by conducting more than 1,000 concerts. His tenure overlapped with the collapse of the German Empire after the First World War, which resulted in the rebranding from court orchestra to state orchestra. With the takeover of the Nazi regime in 1933, the orchestra went through some bitter changes. Conductor Otto Klemperer was banned along with many Jewish musicians. It was turbulent times ahead, with the Second World War and the opera house burning down twice, but the orchestra proved resilient and kept on playing throughout. That's one hell of a spirit. You would think better times lay ahead, but the orchestra was once again divided in 1961 when the Berlin Wall was erected and members from West Berlin were excluded. Ironically, a man from the West, Austrian Ottmar Suttner, became the new music director throughout the entire era of the GDR, taking the orchestra abroad for the first time. A new chapter was opened after the reunification of Germany. The orchestra continued to build up their international reputation with Argentinian-Israeli pianist and conductor Daniel Barenboim, who's been at the helm since 1992. The orchestra has brought in talent from many different countries, winning countless awards as they toured the world from Paris to New York through to Tokyo and Buenos Aires. In the 450 years of their existence, the Staatskapelle Berlin has definitely come a long way. From humble beginnings as a potential Hohenzollern one-hit wonder to creating a legacy spanning almost half a millennium. And with that, there's one thing left to say. Let the music play.